Okay. Uh, Hello. So, this is out the blue. So, this is again just a confirmation of getting the era of Andor after the 10th anniversary, which I'm really excited for. Plus, with the characters coming, there's two that I'm kind of like, strange. I've not actually looked at the kit reveals yet, but just seeing what all the characters are, I'm like, don't know why you'd pick those two. But first of all, let's go through what they're saying about the Era of Andor information, and then we have two posts on the kit reveals because of a character limit. So, guess they're having wordy kits. So, first, quality of life, reducing early era pressure. One of the loudest pieces of feedback was the crystal crunch at the start of an era. To address this, they're making the following changes. Lowered requirements. For the first three marquees of the Andor era, the requirement for the final tier has been reduced from level 70 to 55. Requirements for the final three will remain at 70, as players will have more time to naturally accumulate materials by that stage. Okay. Smart store management. We are temporarily removing tier 8 material bundles, so level 80 to 95, from the store until they are actually applicable. They want to ensure players don't accidentally overspend on materials that are currently gated from using due to Xeric ability module constraints. So that is good. Have to see what it actually does in practice, but it sounds to at least be nice. Coliseum and strategic variety. Want Coliseum to feel like a place where your roster growth is always a benefit. Power scaling. Summoned units will now scale based on your highest level area unit rather than the lowest. Yes. Thank God for that. Because basically what the issue was that people, to use the last era characters as for example, you if you took Stormtrooper Luke to say level 70 straight away, when IG90 came out, if you could only take him to level 30, the other summoned units were scaled on IG90's level 30. So it ended up in this weird thing where you'd be better off not using, like, you'd be better off soloing it with Luke until you were able to level up IG90. So this is much better. And yeah, like I say, this ensures that when you unlock a new marquee at a low level, your colour theme power doesn't dip. Leader-based summons. To add a layer of strategy, the units you summon will now change based on your leader. A rebel leader will bring different reinforcements than an IBS leader. Oh, are they releasing an ISB tag? Huh. So that would be Partagaz and Dedra, like, which obviously confirmed, then probably Krennic and some other Imperials will get it. Yeah, so we'll be allowed more, like, better theory crafting. Because I will say as well, the units we have in the era of Anniversary, none of their kits work together. Like, they do. Everyone gained everyone's tags, right? But it still didn't really help because when they do come into the game properly, it's like, well, they're they're not gonna go together. So that's nice. Some unit adjustments. Some units will be available on later tiers than we had on 10th anniversary. Yeah, because if you got to a certain tier, you like, I don't know if it was like tier 3, you wouldn't be able to have, you wouldn't get all the remaining slots filled. Change scholar team. So if the leader is rebel fighter, I don't know who, maybe Claire, because I think Claire is the first Marquis. Some of the following units in associated Colosseum tiers. So Pow, and then Saw, all of them. All the tiers you're going to get them. Then Cinta on 1 and 2, and Vel on 1. I think there's mainly, Claire, Cinta, and Vel are like the first 3. So that does make sense that you would go for them first. Like after the first couple of tiers, they drop off. Okay, so to be honest, I've forgotten what I was saying because the recording stopped. I ran out of disk space on my laptop. But I'm just going to move on to the ISB bit. If the leader is ISB, summon the following units in associated Colosseum tiers: Imperial Probe Droid and Krennic. So there is going to be home for Imperial Probe Droid. Like I said when I did my 2026 predictions, I did predict that it would be Krennic, Imperial Probe Droid, Dedra. To be fair, I said Cyril, not Partagas, but yeah, so Imperial Probe Droid and Krennic on all of them, and then for the first 5, it's KX series droid, so like K2SO, and then Partagas on the first 4, because Dedra presumably will be the first ISB. Some units will be at the highest level. Yeah, they already said that. Hero abilities. These are currently being targeted for release during the middle of the era. Okay. More information will follow. Okay. Era challenges. More ways to play will be introduced during the second era challenge. Okay. Each challenge tier will now feature 4 distinct feats from escalating level requirements. Claire's challenge will only have the 1 feat, but the other 5 will have 4. Don't know why I don't know why Claire's doesn't have one, but okay. And yes, the new Cassian will be the Journey character, which I kind of assumed anyway, given it's the era of Andor. This provides a reason to revisit challenges as your squad grows, giving everyone, especially free-to-play, more opportunities to gain rewards and engage with the new units throughout the era. Okay? So, this is the clear roadmap for Cassian. To eliminate the moving goalpost feeling, we want upfront about the journey guide requirements from day 1. Good, because they didn't do that with Maul. So the requirements will be similar. The Andor Marquis in order. We're going to get Claire first, then Vel, then Cinta, then Dedra, then Major Partagas, and then the KX security droid. So Tier 1 will require Claire at level 45, and require everyone except the KX droid at 4 stars. So if you do buy the episode pass, or hoard up crystals to get them all to 4 stars, you're going to get Cassian at 4 stars as soon as it becomes available, which will be when Partagas comes out. Tier 2, require them at 5 stars. This is cool. Requires Cinta and Vel at level 55, so they'll be in one together. Nice. And then Tier 3, all of them at 6 stars, and KX at level 70. And then the final tier, everyone at 7 stars and level 85. And I imagine you will use Cassian in this one. So, scaling rewards. Remember that era materials scale exponentially towards the end of the 12-week cycle. The free track of the 3rd episode pass will contain significantly more currency to help bridge the gap to those final levels. The squad you recruit during the era of Andor are your ticket to the exclusive era battles launching in the next cycle. Okay. Because this was weird as well. They had era challenges, but not era battles for an anniversary. So Andor will be reintroducing era battles. Because I know, after the previous era, and we were going into this new version of errors, it was like, oh, are we not getting error battles anymore? We are now. Strengthening your team now ensures you get higher value rewards. Yeah, whatever. Goal is to have 12 error battle events per runs per error, alternating between on and off weeks. There'll be 2 different error battles, each with different requirements, presumably because it'll be Cinta, Vel, and Claire, and then KX series, Partagaz, and Dedra. Transition and Legacy. Following the 10th anniversary pattern, units will move to shipments about a week after the era concludes, and units will move to nodes on a bi-weekly cadence following that. Okay. Once the era of Andor concludes, these units will receive dedicated squad-based focus datacrons. Okay. To provide extra strength in the Legacy meta and GAC and TW. Great. Okay. So when the era of Andor concludes, to be fair, this will at least be. It's only 2 teams, right? By the sounds of it, it's 2 teams, so hopefully it won't be that bad. Yeah, I think this is all pretty. I feel like this is going to be pretty much the same. I'm not going all through with it. And that's just something. So here we go. Yeah, so we'll get Claire on the 10th of February. 2 weeks later, Vel, then Cinta, Dedra, Partagaz, and the KX Enforcer droid. Cassian, obviously, Cassian Andor undercover, and that'll be, when Partagaz comes out. But he is the journey. I will be interested if they're going to give us the kit reveal for Cassian, because they didn't with Maul, but we'll start off with Claire. Basic, what Revolution looks like. Oh, and Claire's is designed to be a high-powered marquee attacker who slots seamlessly into the Cassian Andor undercover and Luthen Rail Rebel Fighter Squad. Wait, now I'm confused. Right, so it's meant to be Cassian-led with Claire, Vel, Cinta, and Luthen? Okay, but Luthen was pretty good with Mon Mothma and Saw. So what, are those teams now just going to end up being useless again? Okay. Deal physical damage to target enemy. If Luthen Rail was an ally at the start of the battle, this attack can't be evaded. If all allies were rebel fighters, this attack will always be a critical hit if able and deals 150% critical damage against undermined enemies. So yeah, this, if all allies are rebel fighters, directly calls out putting Claire under a Mon Mothma team, because Mon Mothma herself is not a rebel fighter. Maybe it'll still have viability under a Saw team? I don't know. Design notes. Undermine, plus 25 speed, but minus 25% critical avoidance and crit chance, and the conquering bonus turn meter. Okay. I don't think these are really that important. This is just telling you more about other people's kits, and we're going to get to that, so. Special 1, I know what I want. Cooldown of 4. Inflict undermine on target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled. Call Luthen Rail to and words and other random rebel fighter ally to assist. Then Claire assists. Rebel fighter allies gain offense up for 2 turns at the end of that turn. And yeah, just reiterating what undermine does. Okay. Special 2. This is do or die. Cooldown 4 and it's a Zeta. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict burning for 1 turn. Remove 50% turn meter from undermined enemies and increase their cooldowns by 1. Target ally gains keen stratagem for the rest of the encounter. So that is the only other character who has keen stratagem is Captain Drogon. So that's making a return. If target ally is Luthen Rail, he has 25%, and he has 25% or less health. Defeat him, and he can't be revived. Okay, I imagine there's going to be a point to that. Revive all Rebel Fighter allies with 100% health. Inflict ability block on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. All Rebel Fighter allies gain Rebel Network for the rest of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Rebel Network, plus 30% critical chance, 30 speed, and immune to healing immunity. When this character is defeated, revive 100% health. Whenever this character defeats an enemy, dispel all debuffs on this character, and all allies recover 100% health and protection. Now, I imagine when they are defeated and revived, they don't get Rebel Network. Again, I imagine they lose it. Now, is this... So, if you kill off Luthen, which is pushed in the show, so it's a nice call-out, nice reference to the show, I imagine this is only if you kill Luthen. That makes the most sense to me, but it's not 100% clear. Right. Does Luthen have to be the target to trigger the sacrifice? Yes, he must be targeted, and yeah, okay. Can I choose not to sacrifice Luthen? Yes, just target someone else, okay. Unique ability, I don't have lately, I have always. Zeta and Omicron for 3v3 Grand Arena, okay. Claire has plus 50% potency and plus 30% critical chance. Whenever an undermined enemy inflicts Claire with a debuff, she dispels all debuffs on herself and reduces her cooldowns by 1. Wow. I mean, to be fair, they do have to be undermined, but allies with keen stratagem have 25 plus 25% accuracy and they ignore taunt. Nice. Whenever Luthen uses special ability, inflict the target enemy with undermine for 1 turn. Okay, that is going to be pretty big. Luthen does have 2 special abilities, so that's now 3, technically. 3 ways to get undermined out. Plus, they did say somewhere that Cassian would spread it to. Claire gains 10% turn meter whenever a Rebel Fighter ally is damaged, once per turn, 20% if that ally is Luthen. While Luthen is active, Claire can't be targeted and has plus 100% evasion. Holy shit. Okay. Oh god. That is going to be such a pain to take out. Because you can't target Luthen. He's untargetable while there's a Rebel Fighter. A summoned Rebel Fighter. So you have to take that out. Plus, he revives the Rebel Fighter with his Omicron. So you have to take out 2 of the summoned troopers, then take out Luthen, then take out Claire. Blimey. If Cassian Undercover is active and Luthen was not at the start of the battle, Claire gains the same benefits. What? So, I assume that means while Cassian is active? Or does it mean... This isn't fully clear. So, if Luthen isn't there but Cassian is, it says Claire gains the same benefits, so does that mean she still can't be targeted and has 100% evasion? Or does it mean while she is active, Cassian gains that? It's not 100% clear whether Cassian is replacing Luthen in that situation, or Claire is replacing Luthen and Cassian is replacing Claire. I think it means Claire herself still can't be targeted and gets the evasion. The first time Luthen's health is reduced to 25% or less, he gains damage immunity for 1 turn, and Claire takes a bonus turn. Okay. That is nice, because I was thinking, like, what if he's, like, on 26%, and then you think you're going to get the benefits and you don't? While in 3v3 grand arenas at the start of the battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, and if the ally in the leader slot is SWGOH or Mon Mothma, player gains bonuses based on the leader. If the leader is Saw, player gains Axis. If the leader is Mon Mothma, player gains Curator until the end of the encounter. If Luthen Rail is an ally, player can't be defeated until his health is reduced to 25% or less. The first time Luthen's health is reduced to 25% or less, she resets the cooldowns of This Is Do or Die. So, if she has Axis, whenever the player uses I Know What I Want, inflict buff immunity on target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, and all allies gain evasion up for 2 turns. Curator. Whenever player uses This Is Do or Die, rally Mon Mothma and all rebel fighters. All allies gain critical damage up for 2 turns. Mon Mothma and other rebel fighter allies gain 30% offense stacking and are immune to turn meter reduction for 2 turns. If an ally already has Green Stratagem, grant Green Stratagem to all other rebel fighter allies until the end of the encounter. So, basically, it means that if you're using Luthen with Saw or Mon Mothma, you can still do that in 3v3. It will be Mon Mothma, Luthen, and Claire, or Saw, Claire, and Luthen. Presumably because the other 3v3 team will be Cassian, Vel, and Cinta. Don't know where the hell Cal came from. Okay, so I guess that's still, like, that's nice, but it'd be nice if Mon Mothma and Saw were used with 5v5 as well. Okay, now we're moving on to Vel. It's designed to work with... yeah, this is the squad. Literally just what it is. Oh, that's cool as well. She protects and empowers Cinta. Special basic BK-43 blaster rifle. Very imaginative. Do physical damage to target enemy and inflict offense down for 1 turn. If the target is undermined, this offense down can't be dispelled. Vel gains a stack of resilient defense, an additional stack of per undermined enemy for 2 turns, max 8. That's a lot of resilient defense. Okay, so clearly Vel is the tank of the team. Okay. On her turn, if all enemies are undermined, rebel fighters gain 50% protection up for 1 turn, and Vel gains deflective ward for 1 turn or until she receives damage. Okay. Special 1, Disrupting Barrage. Cooldown of 4. Do physical damage to all enemies and blind them for 1 turn. Blind can't be resisted by undermined enemies. Rebel fighter allies gain Entrenched for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If all allies are undermined, rebel fighter allies gain critical chance up and critical damage up for 2 turns. Entrenched is they get plus 50% damage and deal 25% more damage for each other entrenched ally when attacking. Recover 5% health protection at the start of their turn. Wow. That is pretty powerful. Like a more succinct kit compared to Claire right now, but very powerful. Unique 1. One path, one choice. Omicron for TB. Okay. I will not be getting that then. At the start of the encounter, if all allies are rebel fighters, Vel gains a stack of resilient defense and 2 additional stacks if Cinta is an ally. Nice. At the start of her turn, rebel fighter allies gain 8%? Okay. Of Vel's crit chance, crit damage, defense penetration, offense for 1 turn. Vel gains 50% offense per undermined enemy until the start of her next turn. While Vel has resilient defense. She has plus 100% critical avoidance. Wow. Counter chance and defense. Undermined enemies deal 10% less damage. Blimey, she definitely sounds like a difficult tank to take out. In TB, all Rebel Fighter allies gain 100% max health, offense, max protection until the end of battle. Whenever Vel gains a sack of resilient defense, all Rebel Fighter allies gain 50% offense until the start of her next turn. Whenever a Rebel Fighter ally defeats an enemy, all Rebel Fighter allies recover 25% health and protection and gain damage immunity for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Whenever a Rebel Fighter ally defeats an undermined enemy, all other enemies become undermined for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. Okay. Unique 2. She was a miracle. Vel has plus 35% accuracy. Whenever Cinta or Vel are attacked by an undermined enemy, Vel gains a stack of resilient defense, max 8, for 2 turns. Whenever an undermined enemy attacks Cinta, she recovers 10% protection and Vel gains 10% turn meter. Whenever Vel uses a basic ability on an undermined enemy, Cinta assists. Whenever an enemy attacks Cinta at the start of Vel's turn, that enemy is exposed until the end of the turn. At the start of her turn, if all enemies are undermined, Rebel Fighter allies gain 50% protection up for 1 turn, and Vel gains Deflective Ward for 1 turn, or until she receives damage. Okay. The first time Vel falls below 50% health, she and Cinta reset their cooldowns and equalise their health and protection. Wow. Okay. Assets to come later. Oh, really? Okay, we don't get an image of Cinta, annoyingly. Oh, not just an image, literally nothing. Okay. Is Cinta the... Oh, no, we've got stuff for Dedra. Okay. Just Cinta for some reason. Blaster Burn. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict defense down for 1 turn. If they undermine their defense, this defense down can't be dispelled. And Cinta stealths for 1 turn. Special 1, Fight to the Death, cooldown of 4. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and she stealths for 2 turns. Inflict breach for 1 turn. If they are breached by this ability block them for 1 turn. If their ability blocked by this ability, death mark them for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled. This attack can't be resisted by undermined enemies. Okay. Sounds pretty powerful. Unique 1, Blooded Fearless Warrior, Zeta and Omicron. Wait a minute. Did Vel... I missed what her Zeta was. Did it say? No. Okay. So either she doesn't have a Zeta, or that was a mistake. Whenever a Rebel Fighter ally uses a special ability against an undermined enemy, Cinta assists. Whenever Cinta uses an ability while stealthed on her turn, expose the target enemy for 2 turns. Whenever Cinta attacks out of turn while stealthed, her attacks have plus 100% critical chance, plus 50% critical damage and defense penetration. Whenever a Rebel Fighter ally is damaged by an undermined enemy, reduce the cooldown of Fight to the Death by 1. Okay. Whenever an undermined enemy inflicts debuffs on a Rebel Fighter ally, Cinta gains speed up for 1 turn. While in territory wars, so TW Omicron, at the start of the battle, Cinta stealths for 1 turn. Cinta has plus 100% defense and max health. Whenever enemies damage Cinta while she is stealthed, they are undermined for 1 turn. If they are already undermined, inflict healing immunity for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or resisted. Rebel Fighter allies have plus 100% defense penetration while attacking enemies affected by Cinta's debuff from Fight to the Death. Wow, this is... Okay. Whenever a death-marked enemy is defeated, all Rebel Fighter allies recover 100% health and protection, gain 10 speed, max 50, and Cinta gains 100% crit damage for the rest of the battle. Blimey. To be fair, Deathmark does only stick for one turn, but that might be enough. Rebel Fighter allies gain 10% offense stacking for each undermined enemy. If all enemies are undermined, Rebel Fighter allies are immune to instant defeat and max health reduction effects. Okay. Sure. Whenever an enemy uses special ability, Cinta gains 15% turn meter, doubled if they were undermined. Whenever a Rebel ally loses VIP, what? Dispel all debuffs for Rebel Fighter allies and grant all Rebel Fighter allies 25% turn meter. I imagine that's something that's in Cassian's kit, the VIP, because that makes absolutely no sense. The only one to have that is Shorty right now. Unique 2, you're the only reason I'm here. Whenever Cinta damages an enemy, Cinta and Vel recover 5% health and protection, doubled if they were undermined, and Vel gains a stack of resilient defense for 2 turns. If Vel is active, whenever Cinta has her stealth dispelled, she stealths, gains 100% offense for 1 turn. Cinta gains 10% turn meter whenever a Rebel Fighter ally is damaged by a debuffed enemy, and an additional 10% if the ally is Vel, which, given the amount she seems to be taunting, will probably be quite a lot. Whenever a Rebel Fighter ally damages a debuffed enemy out of turn, Cinta dispels all debuffs on herself. If that enemy is undermined, dispel all debuffs on Vel. Okay. Next up, Dedra Miro. Basic. Oh. Okay, no, we just have the image for Dedra. I imagine it's going to be the same for Partagaz and the KX series droid. Basic. Effective covert action. Deal physical damage to target enemy and expose them for 1 turn. If they were already exposed at the start of Dedra's turn, she deals an additional 50% bonus damage and gains retaliate for 1 turn. Okay. Special 1, watch your back. Cooldown of 3. Dispel all debuffs on ISB allies, and Dedra gains tenacity up for 2 turns. So yeah, ISB seems to be a new tag coming. I don't know if they say anything about it. They might say stuff about it later on in the post. Call all other ISB allies that are not undermined and the target ally to assist. Then undermine target other ally for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Grant assisting allies offense up for 2 turns, and they recover 15% of their max health at the start of the turn. So I imagine that you want to get undermined on this team. FAQ. Oh no, I thought it might be about the tag. Special 2, do not bore me. Cooldown of 3. Dedra gains 20% critical chance and critical damage, an additional 20% max 100 for each other undermined ISB ally until she uses her basic on her turn. If Dedra is rank 2 or above, she gains protection up 20% for 2 turns, and if she's rank 3, grant all ISB support allies retribution and speed up for 2 turns. Okay, that will presumably come into play in her uniques. Unique 1. Systems either change or die, Zeta and Omicron, again for 3v3 GAC. At the start of the battle, if all allies are ISB, Dedra gains 35% tenacity and 50% turn meter. That's that. Okay, she's probably going first then. Whenever other ISB allies trigger expose on an enemy on their turn, Dedra undermines that ally for one turn. Additionally, if Dedra is rank 3, whenever an ISB ally uses a special ability against an exposed enemy, they inflict torture on the target enemy for 2 turns at the end of the turn. That sounds nice. I don't really get... Currently, I don't know why you want Undermined. Unless you just want the extra speed, I guess, that comes with it. Whenever Dedra undermines an ISB ally, she recovers 10% of her max health and gains overconfident for 2 turns. Okay, that's... Overconfident is only on Fennec at the moment. Whenever an undermined ISB ally takes a turn, she gains 10% turn meter. Whenever their undermine expires, they gain overconfident for 2 turns. Whenever Dedra has overconfidence, she's immune to taunt effects. Okay, so that is why you want undermined on your ISB allies. While in 3v3, at the start of the battle, Dedra exposes all enemies for 2 turns and gains 30% max health. If while ISB allies are undermined, they have plus 80% offense and defense. That's why you want it. Well, when ISB allies gain undermined, if they are already below 50% health or drop below 50% health, limit once per undermined, they gain protection up and tenacity up 20% until they are no longer undermined. Whenever Dedra undermines an ISB ally below 50% health, she gains potency up for 2 turns. Okay. Unit 2, Chain of Command. So this is where the ranked thing comes in. At the start of the battle, Dedra gains rank 1. Every time Dedra undermines an ally, she gains a rank. Every time Undermine expires on an enemy without them taking damage, she loses a rank. Whenever she gains rank 2, she gains health steal up for 1 turn. Whenever she gains rank 3, she gains foresight for 2 turns. Yeah. Oh, okay, so this is a pretty important one. When she ranks down, she will not gain the benefits, only when she ranks up, which is not when this says. This is whenever she gains it. Which, I mean, yeah, okay, rank 3, you can't go down. But she's not going to get the health steal up. If she was at rank 3 and goes down to rank 2, she's not going to get the health steal up. Which doesn't really make it... What they should say is whenever Dedra ranks up to rank 2. That is what it should say. Okay, Major Partagaz, the leader of the ISB. Yeah, so he's going to be the leader of this. Does this say I want to go back up to Dedra in case I have completely missed a big thing about ISB? She'll figure out. Oh yeah, her ISB allies include pre-existing units, Imperial Prodroid and Krennic, as well as the... Oh, those are literally the only 5 ISB. Okay. Really, like, lore-wise, Imperial Prodroid getting it, really? Like, I get why in-game, because Imperial Prodroid is useless. And Krennic also pretty useless. But, yeah, very strange. Oh, okay, we actually have art for him. Then why not? You've literally got Dedra assisting here. Like, you really couldn't put her basic in it? Okay. Basic thesis, please. Inflict health down on target enemy for 2 turns. During his turn, call a target other ISB ally to assist, dealing 25% more damage per rank Major Partagaz has, so not what Dedra has. If Partagaz has 2 or above, all ISB allies gain speed up for 2 turns. If he has 3, also daze them. So yeah, even though you can clearly see Dedra doing her basic ability, I don't know why they're not showing that. Special. Huh? Right, okay, so here it says Special 1, Authority is brittle, but then here it says Calibrate your enthusiasm. Calibrate your enthusiasm is the leader ability. So, right, okay. Authority is brittle. Call all ISB allies to assist, and they recover 20% health and protection. If all allies were ISB at the start of the battle, all enemies are target locked for 2 turns. If the target enemy is already target locked, all allies have their cooldowns reduced by 1, all ISB. If Partagaz is rank 3, blind target enemy for 2 turns and increase all enemy cooldowns by 1. Rank 2 or above, ISB allies can retaliate for 2 turns and 5% tenacity. Sacking. Rank 3. Oh! Rank 2 or above ISB allies. So, okay, right. I thought it was saying if Partagaz was that. No, okay. So this is if other allies are rank 2 or above and rank 3, they gain tactical supremacy for 2 turns. That is on Trench and Tarkin. This ability can't be evaded or resisted. Leader, calibrate your enthusiasm. At the start of the battle, Partagaz inflicts potency down and speed down on all enemies for 2 turns. ISB allies gain 50% bonus protection, 30 speed, and ISB allies that are rank 3 ignore taunt effects on their turn till the end of the battle. ISB allies have plus 25% critical chance, defense, and tenacity at rank 1. These bonuses are doubled at rank 3, at rank 2, and quadrupled at rank 3. So 100% on each of those if they're at rank 3. Whenever an enemy recovers protection, all ISB allies gain 5% offense stacking until end of the battle. ISB allies deal 5% more damage when targeting a target locked enemy and recover 5% health and protection. ISB allies inflict speed down for 2 turns when they're attacking out of turn. While in Grand Arenas, Partagaz starts the battle at rank 3. Okay, that's helpful. And gains 50 speed whenever an allied ISB support gains Retaliate. I imagine that means Dedra. They also gain 20% bonus protection for 1 turn, and whenever an ISB ally is damaged, Partagaz gains 15% turn meter. The first time each ally falls below 30% health, they recover 30% health and protection, and support allies stealth for 1 turn, and the tanks taunt for 1 turn. So I imagine on his unique will show how he gets ranked up in other ways. Oh, it's got 2 uniques. Oh, chain of command. Okay, yeah. So, is this the exact? No, it's different. Okay. I was like, is this gonna be like just like a common thing that they all have? No. Security is an illusion. Whenever Partagaz inflicts a debuff on an enemy, all enemies lose 5% potency, max 50%. At the start of the battle, if all allies are ISB, Partagaz can't be targeted for the rest of the battle. Wow. Okay. Whenever an enemy gains foresight or stealth, dispel and expose the enemy for 1 turn, with 1 stack for each rank Partagaz has, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever an enemy recovers protection, remove 5% of their max protection, stacking until end of the battle. Wow. Okay. the start of his turn, all ISP allies gain 20% offense for 2 turns. If there are no allied combatants at the start of a turn, Articus escapes from battle. Right, okay. So he is like Mon Mothma, C-3PO, Hermit Yoda. Like, if there are no allied combatants at the start of the battle, or Wat Tambor, that's the other one. So they're completely passive, but also just die, basically. Which, that kind of makes sense to why he can't be targeted. He's basically the Empire equivalent of Mon Mothma. Unique 2, Chain of Command. Oh, we are getting the casting kit reveal. So I guess part 2 literally just has the KX series droid. Unit 2, Chain of Command. If all allies are ISB, Particast starts the encounter at rank 2. Whenever an ISB ally uses a special ability, others at rank 2 or higher gain 10% counter chance stacking. It's the first time we've really seen like stacking counter chance. Whenever an enemy is defeated, all ISB allies increase their rank by 1. Whenever an ISB ally is defeated, active allies decrease their rank by 1. Sounds interesting, because then that means Imperial Probe Droid and Krennic can gain ranks as well. So here, Cassian Andor Undercover. Which, okay, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting him as, his regular appearance. But, oops. But no. This is specifically when he does go undercover. I guess, like, that does make sense. But, okay. Basic Clem. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict speed down for 1 turn. If they already had speed down from this ability, okay, undermine them for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. If they're already undermined, undermine another random enemy who doesn't have it for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled. During his turn, if all allies are undermined, call all other Rebel Fighter allies to assist. Okay, so even just from his basic, we can see how he's going to spread undermine. Special. Keith Gergo. What does that even mean? Does that say? Oh, it's the alias he used when he was on. Right, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Dispel all debuffs on Rebel Fighter allies and they gain high morale for 1 turn, which can't be copied, and 10% turn meter. Deal physical damage to all enemies and additional instance of damage to undermined enemies. Undermine the enemy with the least turn meter for 2 turns. Special 2, Varian Sky. And what is that from? Oh, it's the alias he used when he went to Gorman. Okay. Target other Rebel Fighter ally, gains 50 speed for 1 turn, and recovers 20% health and protection. If all allies are Rebel Fighters, target other ally also gains VIP. There we go. Knew it was going to come in somewhere. Until they are damaged twice. Cassian deals 30,000 true damage to target enemy, which can't be evaded, and blinds them for 1 turn. Undermine the enemy in the leader slot for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. This ability does 15,000 more true damage for each turn a VIP has taken this encounter. Max stacking, max 150,000 additional damage, so 10 turns. Okay. Like, it has a specific number. That's not common, but okay. While in Grand Arenas, if all allies are rebel fighters, target ally gains damage immunity for 1 turn. Rebel fighter allies gain 10% turn meter and max health for the rest of the encounter. Target enemies inflicted with healing immunity for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or resisted. And if they had undermined, all other enemies without undermine are undermined for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. Nice. Cooldown of 4, Zeta and Omicron. This one cooldown of 3. I got so distracted by the ability names. Unique. Oh, getting the unique first, not his lead? Okay. More than you fear, Zeta and Omicron. Cassian has plus 50% critical avoidance for each undermined enemy, and 100% counter chance at the start of each non-undermined enemy's turn until the end of their turn. Cassian is immune to critical hit immunity. What? Whenever Cassian attacks out of turn, he's inflicted with vulnerable for 1 turn. I imagine that's going to come into play as to why you want Cassian to be critically hit. If there were no Galactic Legend at the start of the battle, whenever there are 3 or more attacks out of turn during an enemy's turn, so that enemy is undermined for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. If any enemy is undermined, Cassian gains Fearless until no enemies are undermined. Wow. So Fearless is only on Leia, I believe. I don't, unless it came with someone else from the era of Anniversary. Whenever an enemy who wasn't undermined is undermined, Cassian gains 10% turn meter. Whenever an undermined enemy removes turn meter from Cassian, all enemies lose 25% turn meter. Okay. Whenever an enemy with undermine gains a buff from their ally, that ally is undermined for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and at the end of the turn, all buffs are dispelled on the enemy who gained the buff, and target ally rebel fighters have their debuffs dispelled. At the start of Cassian's VIP's turn, Cassian recovers full health and protection, and whenever they use special ability, the target enemy is undermined for 1 turn. Blimey. Like, you give this to Cinta, I imagine. Maybe give it to Vel. But I'm thinking Cinta, because that's going to be the 3v3 team, specifically because she's not going to be hit. Because it's until they're hit twice, and if you give it to Vel, she's going to lose it basically straight away. So giving it to Cinta, whenever she takes a turn, Cassian recovers full health and protection. Blimey. While in Grand Arenas, the enemy that damages an ally with Cassian's VIP is undermined for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or resisted. At the start of Cassian's VIP's turn, they also recover. Oh, no. The weakest. Wait, what? Also recover full health and protection of the weakest ally. What? That doesn't make any sense. If Cassian's already recovering full health and protection, start of the VIP to also recover of the weakest. So is this saying the weakest ally recovers full health and protection? Not the amount of health and protection. It's not saying Cassian recovers full health and protection. The weakest ally's full health and protection. That amount Cassian recovers. That wouldn't make any sense. Whenever Cassian's VIP uses an ability, the target is undermined for 1 turn. Yeah, so rather than just being a special ability, it's now just on any ability. Leader ability, I have friends everywhere. Of course, that had to be in somewhere. Zeta and Omicron. Robofighter allies have plus 100% potency and plus 50% defense. Undermined enemies have minus 25%. Have minus 25 speed. Right, okay, so that just removes what Undermine does then, because it gives the benefits from it, I mean. And they can't be called to assist. If all allies are rebel fighters, Cassian only takes 1 damage from attacks unless he's critically hit on that turn. There we go. Okay, so that you don't want him to be critically hit, but it's for balancing. Blimey, he only takes 1 damage unless he's critically hit already. That's insane. Rebel allies have 100% tenacity until rebel fighter allies defeated, excluding summons. At the start of Cassian's VIP's turn, all undermined enemies lose 10% max health for the rest of the encounter, and rebel fighter allies gain 10% defense penetration and offense. Stacking for the rest of the encounter, whenever a rebel fighter ally has Cassian's VIP, all allied rebel fighters have 100% critical avoidance. Whenever an enemy dispels undermine, rebel fighter allies gain 20% turn meter. Whenever an enemy dispels a buff on a rebel fighter ally, they are undermined for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. While in Grand Arenas, rebel fighter allies take reduced damage from percent health damage effects and gain instant defeat immunity, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented until a rebel fighter ally is defeated, excluding summons. Whenever an ally is damaged while they have VIP, the cooldown of Variant Sky is reset. At the start of the VIP's turn, rebel fighter allies gain 5% mastery. Wow. Okay, and that is it for Cassian. So this is the KX series droid. What is actually the unit's name? Like KX series, KX, I don't know, KX something. Basic baton deployed. Yeah, see, this is what I was saying. I like the KX series droid. Really? I think I personally would rather have Cyril, which is also like major party counts. I was kind of like, like I'd rather have Cyril instead of him. But I don't know why you'd have the KX droid and not Cyril. Because by the sounds of it, he's not coming at all, which is really weird. CG seems to do this sometimes, but just not including a huge character. I mean, yeah, there's no young Mon Mothma either, which is kind of bizarre, but you know, don't know where you'd fit her in. I don't know who you'd replace. Because they did this as well when they brought Genetic Cal Kestis and the Fallen Order characters, just didn't include Grease for like no reason. So, right, basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain a stack of overcharge, max 5, and recover 20% health protection per stack. During his turn, if he has 5 stacks of overcharge, shock the enemy for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and remove all overcharge stacks. Really? That, if he has 5 stacks of overcharge, literally all you get is a 1 turn irresistible shock on the target enemy. That, and then you lose overcharge. That's okay. Overcharge has only been seen with Droideka. As far as I know. Special. Please do not resist. Oh, that's a cool animation. Cooldown of 4. KX Series Security Droid, that's the unit's name. Gains offense equal to 200% of its defense for 1 turn. Deal physical damage to all enemies and gain defense up. And taunt for 2 turns. Yeah, so he is going to be the tank of the Empire, the ISB team. If all allies at ISB also gain alert and protection up 100% for 2 turns, other ally ISB droids take 5% max health damage that ignores protection. Why do you want that on Probe Droid? If KX series security droid is rank 2 or above, call him to assist, and if he's rank 3, stagger the target enemy for 1 turn. Okay. So far, I'm not seeing anything that crazy in this guy. He might just be a skippable one. Oh, actually no, but he isn't, because there's only 5 ISB units. I feel like this is kind of a dud character, but you kind of have to have them, because otherwise you're four-manning everything. Special 1. Controlled Operations Zeta and Omicron. At the start of the battle, they gain 50% max health for each ISB ally. Okay, that is pretty good, considering he's the tank as well. Whenever they gain 5 stacks of overcharge, he gains 10% max health. Stacking. Okay. If he attacks a target locked enemy, expose them for 2 turns. If he's critically hit, he gains a stack of overcharge and inflicts defense down on that enemy for 2 turns. Whenever a droid is defeated, he gains Frenzy for 2 turns and a stack of Endure for the rest of the encounter. Whenever an undermined ally is damaged, taunt for 1 turn. And whenever KX is undermined, he gains protection up. 25% stacking. While in territory wars, if all allies are ISB, at the start of the battle, KX gains Retribution for 1 turn and taunts for 3 turns and is immune to daze. And all allies have plus 50% max health and max protection until the end of the battle. Whenever KX gains rank 3, he can no longer lose rank. That's pretty good. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he gains 1% max health stacking until the end of battle. And all allies gain 5% turn meter. Whenever an ISB ally uses a special ability, KX assists. Whenever he uses Please Do Not Resist and has more than 3 stacks of overcharge, he gains Foresight for 1 turn. If he had 5, also blind all enemies for 1 turn. Whenever Imperial Probe Droid uses self-destruct, all allies gain Endure for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled. They recover 100% protection, and the cooldown of Please Do Not Resist is reset. Okay. Unique 2 Chain of Command. At the start of the battle, gains rank 1. Whenever KX security droid attacks out of turn while taunting, he gains a rank. Whenever taunt is dispelled, he loses a rank. So when he's rank 2 or above, his basic deals 10% true damage based on his max health. That sounds pretty good. His health seems like it's going to be really big. While KX is rank 3, he has 100% counter chance. Nice. And that's it. That's the entire era. Kit reveals 2 teams. Cassian Undercover, Claire, Cinta, Vel, Luthen, Partagaz, Dedra, KX, Probe Droid, and Krennic. There you go. This is a really long video and I'm very tired. It is very late for me. It's 1 AM. Why CG? Why release it now? Oh, I should have just gone to bed. Then I would have recorded this in the morning. What do you think of all this? And what do you think of the changes to the era stuff? Seems to be pretty nice. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.